when they distance themselves, they are able to see and analyze. But till the time they are with their narcissistic parents, mother or father, these victims who are victims of emotional incest, they are unaware. Only when something bad hits them later in life, that is the time when they wake up, they have this realization. Otherwise they remain in that bubble. They are like those mindless zombies. My mother is God, my father is God, I love her, she loves me. Hey everyone, I hope everyone is doing good and taking good care of themselves. So I mean, recently I had a client, and it was a male client, and he asked me, that I have seen you making a lot of videos on emotional incest, but I don't quite understand what emotional incest is, or what are the signs to look out for. Even though I have, made videos in the past, and I have explained, what emotional incest looks like and feels like, but I thought, let me, make a simplified version, yeah, for these men who are out there, who are victim of emotional incest, by their narcissistic mothers, who have been abused by their narcissistic mother. So, this video talks about the signs to look out for. Yeah, these signs, that you were a victim of emotional incest, or your narcissistic parent was using you as their emotional spouse. And before I get going, I would request you all to like, share, subscribe the channel, hit the notification bell so you guys are updated whenever we put out a new content. So emotional incest, in simple term, is a kind of a very intimate emotional relationship between a narcissistic parent and their golden child, or their favorite child. And they are you know very connected, they are very enmeshed, they are very into each other. Yeah, in a healthy family, parents behave like parents and kids behave like kids. In narcissistic families, these children, in most of the cases the sons, they are treated like pseudo husband. The boundaries are blurred, and there is a lot of things that happens when a narcissistic mother is training and grooming her son to be her emotional spouse. And this is again because she feels that she's entitled, she can do anything because she has created that child. So she has the right to do anything and get anything out of him. Yeah, his life is hers and not his own. So these narcissistic mothers have their own unique way to prep you, to prepare you to become an emotional spouse, to prepare you to become a pseudo husband to them, or pseudo wife to them. So in this video, I'm going to talk about the different signs to look out for. Yeah, sometimes we are so confused, and we are surrounded by so much of confusion, guilt, shame, fear of being judged, abandoned, a lot of things are there. And as a result of which we ignore the common things, we ignore the simple signs, we ignore the common signs. And because in narcissistic families there is so much of confusion and chaos, and uh, you are unable to think clearly. Yeah, so what are the signs to look out for? I mean, if you are suspecting, or if you are thinking that emotional incest is happening, or if you are being groomed as your mother's or father's emotional spouse, what are the signs to look out for? The first sign is that these narcissistic parents are going to confide in you about adult issues you were never meant to handle. Yeah, so them having fight with their husband or wife, they are going to involve you, they are going to tell you, they are going to tell you You have no idea what happened today. Your daddy was really angry. He was misbehaving. He hardly cares about me. I'm so lonely. Nobody cares about me. My dear son, I hope you're not going to leave me. You're not going to betray your mother who suffered so much, this and that. So, these narcissistic mothers, narcissistic parents, they are, into confiding, a lot of adult issues, in you, yeah, which is not supposed to be shared with you. They should share it with their age group people. Yeah. So these narcissistic parents simply, steal your childhood, from you. And, they do this by this emotional dumping. Your father hardly cares about me. Your mother hardly cares about me. And, from an early age, you are exposed to these things. Yeah, I mean, you are no more a son or a daughter. You are literally, like, their emotional spouse. Yeah. The things that they should discuss and talk about with their age group or with adult individuals, they start telling you. And that's how they get you used to. That's how they prep you and groom you to be their emotional spouse, a replacement, yeah, for your father or for your mother. So these narcissistic, parents, they like blurring boundaries because they feel entitled. I can do anything with my child, and it's my child. I have, complete right and authority to do whatever I want, wish, and please. You need to understand, they don't bring you in this world so that you can have a life of your own. They bring you in this world so that you can serve them. Yeah. And they, really don't care if they are grooming you to be their emotional spouse. Yeah. Because in the end, it's all about serving them. Yeah. You doing things for them. Yeah. Them harvesting supply out of you. Yeah. So I mean, it hardly matters. They just don't care that they are robbing you of your childhood, or you are being, a victim of emotional incest. That doesn't really matter. What matters is them getting what they want. Yeah. Even if it's a small little child. Yeah. The other sign to look out for, when you suspect emotional incest, or when you think, things are a little off and not regular and usual, is that, these narcissistic parents, they blur emotional boundaries and expect you to be loyal like a partner. They don't want you to be like a son or daughter or behave like a child. They want you to behave like an adult partner. Yeah. They are going to, groom you to meet their needs and not your own needs. Yeah. So these narcissistic parents are going to train you and condition you in such a way that you will start acting like their partner. Yeah. And when you are exposed to these things, when you are accustomed and used to these things, it becomes very difficult to have healthy relationship out of that family, with other person, other man or a woman, because you personally feel that it's your duty, to prove your loyalty towards your mother, towards your father. I mean, whatever the dynamic is. So these narcissistic parents, they are big time into blurring emotional boundaries. I mean, if there is some problem, I will talk with my age group. I will not talk, things out with my 10-year-old. Yeah, because I'm 40, I'm 30, and that's a 10-year-old. Will that 10-year-old understand? No, that 10-year-old is just a kid. So I need to talk to an expert or someone of my age group. But in narcissistic families, in most of the cases, narcissistic mothers, they blur emotional boundaries. They start oversharing information. They start rewriting history. They start, polluting their son's mind. They start, telling the son, that the father is the villain. Yeah. And then the son, starts acting like her husband, like her pseudo spouse. The son, gets into this rat race to prove his loyalty, and not loyalty, as a family member, but loyalty as a partner. He does more, so that the mother forgets the father. He does more so that the mother loves him more than the father. I mean, it's really nasty. I mean, it's sick. I mean, the kind of thing that exists in narcissistic families. But anyways, I mean, this video is all about the sign. So yes, I mean, narcissistic parents, they are victim into blurring emotional boundaries, and they expect you to be loyal like a husband, like a wife, like a partner. Yeah, they don't want you to be loyal like a family member or like a child. They want you to be like their emotional spouse. Yeah, the label is not there, you are the son, you are the daughter, but they want you to be loyal, madly in love with them. Yeah, you're ready to fight with your father for the sake of your mother, you're ready to fight with your mother for the sake of your father. It's really horrible, but yeah, I mean, this is how things are in narcissistic families. The other sign to look out for is that these narcissistic parents, they make you feel responsible for their moods and well-being. Yeah, so guilt in a way becomes your emotional baseline. So these narcissistic parents are going to make you feel as if it's your duty to please them, it's your duty to emotionally comfort them, soothe them, and babysit them and do whatnot. Yeah, whereas you are a small little child, but they want you to grow up before time. They want you to uh, hold the relationship like an adult. I mean, a mother and a son relationship, they don't want you to hold that relationship that way. They want to be in the vulnerable position, and they want you to become their caretaker and caregiver, and be their supply source. So it's not the other way around. They flip things, they turn things, so that they become the one who receives and you become the giver. Even though your age, you are small, you are young, and you are not supposed to give, but they train you to give them. Yeah, and that's how they groom you. So this is also one of the important signs to look out for in narcissistic families. If you think that you are a victim of emotional incest, one of the signs to look out for is that you know it's your responsibility to make your narcissistic parent feel good. It's your responsibility to make your narcissistic parent feel happy, and it's your duty to take care of their well-being, whether it's physical, emotional. I mean, it is like as if you are not allowed to be a child and they are your child. You're not allowed to be a child. You are expected to grow up faster. You are expected to take on adult responsibility and role, and that's it. Yeah, become a replacement for your father or mother. Yeah, that serves the narcissistic parent. So these narcissistic individuals, these narcissistic parents, they have their own unique way of making you feel obligated and making you feel responsible for their mood and well-being. Yeah, so this is one of the important signs that a lot of individuals ignore. They feel that it's their duty. They feel that it's their responsibility to take care of their narcissistic parents moods and well-being. No, it's not. It's their responsibility, not yours. You are a child. Yeah, you are supposed to take care of your own self. You are supposed to manage your own self. You're not supposed to fix your parents problem. You're not supposed to fix your parents issues. No, you're not here to solve their problem. You are here to make a life of your own. Yeah, but in narcissistic families, again, things are blurred. you know there's a lot of confusion, and things are very messed up. The other sign to look out for is that these narcissistic parents are going to isolate you from other parent or support system. He is bad, she is bad, the grandmother is bad, your father is bad, your mother is bad. This narcissistic parent is going to isolate you from other parent and other support system. Yeah, and they are going to make you feel as if you are their last hope, you are their rescuer and the only savior, you are their sole emotional supply. Whereas in reality, you're not the only one, but they make you feel that way, that if you are not there, my mother is going to die. If I'm not there, my father is going to die. Yeah, I mean, you feel as if you are there, and that's the reason she's alive. or he's alive. If you're gone, she'll die. That poor lady is going to die. That poor man is going to die. So these narcissistic parents have their own unique way of rewriting history, pitting you against, other family members. And, it's all to keep you dependent on them. It's all to keep you solely for them. Yeah. So that you don't have a healthy relationship with other family members. You are just with them. That's it. You are just like their puppet. You're just like their toy, with whom they can do whatever they want, wish and please. The other sign to look out for is that, these narcissistic parents are going to punish you for having your own life, dream, and relationship. Yeah, they are going to taunt you, they are going to criticize you, shame you, guilt trip you, make you feel guilty. They are going to tell you that you are being selfish, you are being mean, you are being ungrateful, you hardly care about us. Yeah. So anything, outside of them feels like betrayal. Yeah. So, we tend to shrink, we tend to, shapeshift, we tend to withdraw. Yeah, we don't get into relationship, we don't, make friends, we don't, date. Yeah, because that might hurt my narcissistic parent. Yeah, I mean, because she has nobody else, she has no one else apart from me, he has no one else apart from me. So, they are going to punish you for having your own life, dream, and, the things. And, they are going to make you feel obligated, that, you pursuing your own life, wants, desire, dream, and relationship is being selfish and being an ungrateful child. So let me keep them secondary, let me betray them, let me leave them, but first prioritize my narcissistic parent. So if you are having those kind of feelings, if you are getting, such kind of a treatment, quite possibly, you are a victim of emotional incest. Yeah, because, in emotional incest, if you're a victim of emotional incest, you will feel bad, you will feel heavy, for prioritizing yourself, for prioritizing your wife, for prioritizing your children, I mean, for prioritizing your spouse. You will feel bad, you will feel as if, you're betraying your mother, you're betraying your father. Yeah. And as a result of which, you stop prioritizing your dreams, you stop prioritizing, the things that is important and your responsibility, because you have already taken on their responsibility from an early age. So how are you going to, accomplish, the adult responsibilities? Yeah, you will fail, you will not be able to, perform well in other relationship. Yeah, because you have been groomed and designed and conditioned to just perform your best, with your narcissistic parent. So yes, I mean, it's quite complicated, and, everything is masked and everything is practiced under the guise of love, care, concern, tradition. This is, our way, this is how things are, since time immemorial. All those, scriptures they use, to further gaslight you. So, we are unable to see things clearly, till the time we are with them or we are surrounded by them. We are unable to see things clearly, because we are surrounded with so much of confusion, chaos, guilt, constant gaslighting. We are unable to see things, the way it is. Yeah. And the last sign to look out for is that, these narcissistic parents are going to create emotional enmeshment, disguised as closeness. you know they will micromanage, they will withhold love and affection, then release some amount of validation, love and affection. So they have been manipulating you from an early age, and, as a result of which, they stage things in such a way that others, you know see your relationship with them as a very close relationship. He's so close to his mother, she's so close to her father. Yeah, whereas in it's enmeshment, it's unhealthy emotional enmeshment. Boundaries are blurred. She's just, behaving like his wife, pseudo wife. He's just behaving like her pseudo husband. And, you are so dependent on them because you feel that they don't have anybody apart from you, whereas in reality they have lots of options, and if you stop serving them they will have other options in place. Yeah, so we grow up believing that they don't have anyone else apart from us. Yeah, we grow up with lots of confusion, we are codependent, and in a way we are emotionally exhausted. And if we are emotionally exhausted, if we are drained, if we are confused, do you think we'll be able to, you know, uh, do well in our other relationship and connections? No. Yeah, because emotional incest is a kind of a very dangerous phenomena. It, in a way, eats you. It, in a way, damages you and cripples you emotionally. Yeah, and you are never able to um, have a healthy and a good deep relationship with anyone, whether it's your child, whether it's your spouse, if you have not healed, if you have not seen and accepted and had this awareness and realization as to what you were put through. Trust me, you are going to keep suffering in other relationships, because you are not seeing things the way it is. You are seeing things and observing things and viewing things from the lenses that were handed over to you by your narcissistic parent. So yes, I mean, on the outside, emotional incest between a child and narcissistic parent is seen as a very close relationship. Oh, they love each other. Oh, they care for each other so much. It's more than parent child love, to tell you honestly. If you will see, you will feel uncomfortable. If you will see, you will understand that this is something else. This is not a mother and a son relationship. This is not a father and a daughter love. It's more. Yeah, I mean, um, the son is going to decide what the mother is going to wear. The father is going to decide who the girl needs to date, the daughter needs to date. The father will decide who she needs to marry. The girl is just there, trying to please the father. The girl is not behaving like a daughter, but like a wife. The son is not behaving like a son, but like a husband. So, you will feel something is off. I mean, of course, the victims are unaware, so they feel extremely emotional, and only when they distance themselves they are able to see and analyze. But till the time they are with their narcissistic parents, mother or father, you know, uh, these victims who are victims of emotional incest, they are unaware. Only when something bad hits them later in life, that is the time when they wake up, they have this realization. Otherwise they remain in that bubble. They are like those mindless zombies. My mother is God, my father is God, I love her, she loves me. I love my mother more than my children, I love my mother more than my wife, I love my father more than my husband, I love my father more than my children. They are under that spell, and you will literally feel uncomfortable looking at them, the kind of relationship they have. So, in narcissistic families, you will feel that there is something off. This mother knows more than, what I know, about my husband. She knows what color he likes, she knows what he wants, how he wants, when he wants. She knows a little more than me. Yeah, I mean, you will feel, a little uncomfortable, seeing them, engaging and communicating. You will feel that, there is something off. At times we ignore, at times we give them a free pass, thinking that it's a mother and a son relationship, father and a daughter. But if you closely observe, you will see the signs. Yeah, that they are not understanding. I mean, the victim is not understanding. And it's really sad. I mean, it's sad to see them behaving like husband wives, whereas in they are parent child. and you being a spouse, you have to witness this. It's very painful for, you know, individuals who are married to, such individual who have been victim of emotional incest. And it's really sad for you guys out there, who, played along, who tried, fixing things, who were, enmeshed with their narcissistic parents, who were victim of emotional incest. I'm really sorry for you guys as well. Yeah, I mean, you were unaware, you didn't know what healthy looked like, yeah, what healthy was supposed to be like. You were just unaware, you were not exposed to all of those things, and that's the reason you were playing along. So yes, I mean, these are, some of the signs of emotional incest. In case if you would like to add in something, you can always comment below. Till then, take care of yourself. Lots of love and blessings to all of you. Bye.